Hey everybody, what's cracking? What's cracking? I just got home from work and I saw people were DMing me about like everything that I offer. Hey my love. I'm over here munching, sorry, but I saw people were asking me questions about all of the digital products that I offer. Just want to do a live because I feel like it's just easier. I do respond to personal DMs because I know like the community that I serve, you guys don't like to be made public. And I'm respecting that. And I also understand because I know when I was suicidal, girl, you couldn't get me to come nowhere on social media. I just wanted to be behind the scenes and hiding because the first thing, why is it doing that? The first thing that was on my mind was making sure that I left Earth. Okay, I just didn't want to be here. Okay, so social media was not important to me when I was suicidal, right? So I figured let me do a live, and everybody that's been asking me questions about being suicidal, about all of the products that I offer, all of you guys will have your questions answered here because like a lot of us feel like we're alone. And you're not. You're not the only one that's suicidal. You just didn't know that other people were going through the same thing as you. That's it. Okay? So we're going to go into all of the products that I do offer. All of the products that I do offer is in my Stan store. They're not bullshit. They're not stuff that was stolen from other people. This is the shit that I took and sat my black ass down and created from my experiences of being suicidal. You're not gonna find this anywhere else, okay? You're not. You will not find it anywhere else because it's my stories, my digital guides that I use for myself, everything that I went through, right? So I'm literally giving you guys all the tea about what is in the link in my bio, okay? So we're gonna start with my free ebook. My free ebook is basically like just talking about like how to apply your healing while being suicidal, but applying it to your self-care. Because a lot of the times we go on the internet, we're like, oh my gosh, everybody's doing self-care. I don't fucking feel like doing no goddamn self-care. Girl, me too, I was the same way. Self-care, why? And I feel like shit, right? But we gotta twist. I don't want to say twist because that's like a bad way of saying it. But we gotta like train our minds to understand that everything you do for yourself is to heal you, right? So in my free ebook, it's called Free Ebook, The Survival Routine After Suicide. It's for everybody, not just people that are suicidal. It's for like, if you're struggling with depression, anxiety, you're a new mom and you're having postpartum depression, all the things. A lot of people have told me like it really has helped them because we really don't have a survival routine guide after coming out of being suicidal, after coming out of being depressed, after coming out of being anxious, after coming out of a really bad relationship that you were in for years and y'all just broke up, so now you're depressed. We don't have a guide for us of like how to bounce back, right? So that free ebook is for that. It's literally tailored to your mental health to understand why self-care is for you. After all the bad things have happened to you, after the trauma, after the sexual grooming of your stepfather, after you've been raped by your freaking neighbor who your mother has trusted to watch over you while she's at work. It's for you, okay? It is tailored to you, okay? So that's the first ebook, the free ebook, right? The second thing is the journal. If you know you are suicidal, if you know you struggle with depression, if you know you are struggling with being anxious, the journal is for you. Meaning there are a lot of people who struggle for a certain season. So for their season, like they're struggling for like 2 to 3 months, and then after the 2 or 3 months they go back to normal. That's not for you. The journal is not for you. If you're suicidal or you're depressed, you have anxiety, you're going through trauma, and you are back to normal within 3 to 4 months and you never think about suicide again, the journal's not for you. The journal is for people who go through the repetitive cycle of being suicidal, okay? Their journal is on Amazon. I put the link in my bio. It literally says, "Don't do it, Suicide Prevention Journal." That's what it says, okay? That journal is on Amazon. It'll be shipped to your door within like 2 to 3 days. If you're having an emergency situation, within that Amazon link, it says ebook. You get the ebook for a cheaper price, right? And the ebook of the journal will be sent to your phone. You can read through it. I had a girl who was, I got to see how she's doing because I haven't heard from her in a while. But I had a girl who was suicidal, and when I had first put out my suicide prevention journal, it kind of went viral for a little bit, and she was like, she hit me up, she DM'd me. My DMs were blown up. Remember, I told you guys, the community that I serve, they do not like to be seen. They will just like, they will not comment. They will share. They will not comment, right? So I kind of like have to like watch them a little bit, but anyway, she DM'd me and she was like, "Girl, I was sitting in my car with my gun, about to do Russian roulette. And I said, you know what? Let me download Dana's ebook of her suicide prevention journal." She was like, "You the reason why I didn't do it." And I was like, and I remember, I swear to God, I'm getting goosebumps. I remember, I swear to God, I was at work when she DM'd me that, because I'm a nurse. I was at work when she DM'd me that, and I literally stopped what I was doing, and I started bawling, crying. And my manager, it was a male at the time, my manager, he looked at me, he was like, "What is wrong?" And I was like, "Nothing." And he was like, "Dana, you look like you need to take a moment." And I was like, "No, I'm okay." I was like trying, but I was like boo-hoo crying. And then he was like, "Just tell me what's wrong." And I said, "Okay." I wrote a journal, and a girl said that I'm the reason why she didn't blow her head off. And he was like, "What?" He's like, "All right, go take like a half an hour." I went to the bathroom. I didn't even go downstairs or anything. I went to the bathroom and I was wailing. You would have thought somebody passed away the way that I was wailing in the bathroom. And then I had my patients, they were waiting outside for me, and they were like, "Is Dana okay?" And my manager was like, "Yeah, she's fine. She's just, going through a little," girls when they have their period, and they were like, "Oh, okay." Like, no, I was wailing in the bathroom. Because, they say, like, when you have a passion for something, like, if your passion doesn't make you cry, you're not doing it. Like, you're not in the right place, right? So it was just, I cried so bad. Then I have the Suicide Prevention Ebook, right? The ebook is for you, where it says, "I still choose death." The ebook is for you if you have gone through so much shit that even if you were to tell somebody, nobody would believe you. I made that ebook because there were times and situations where I went through so much crap, back to back to back, and only like 2 people knew about it. And this was after like my mom had passed away. I went through so much shit back to back to back. Nobody knew about it. And then somebody was like, "Yo, you should write an ebook about all the shit you went through, just like by itself, where you're just trauma dumping, so people could see like you're not by yourself," right? So I was like, but it's gonna be so emotional for me. It's gonna be so time consuming. It's gonna be da da da. And then the person was like, "So what if it's time consuming?" The person was like, "Listen, what do you know about people that are suicidal that are like you?" And I was like, real talk, I said the reason why most of us are suicidal is because we literally sitting here thinking, I'm the only one going through this shit. So then the person was like, "Okay, write it." And I was like, "Bruh, I can't." So I fought it for a long time, and then I was like, "All right, fuck it, I'm just gonna write it." When I tell y'all, I would be up most nights at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, finishing that ebook. 3, 4 o'clock in the morning at my computer station, crying, because a lot of it is stuff that I chose to put to the side and not deal with. When I had to type it out on my keyboard, right? I had to type it out on my keyboard. I cried so bad. I was crying so bad. And then it made me realize, some of these things you're not over. Some of these things that happened to you as a kid, as an adult, you're not over it yet. Like, I cried. It was bad. So that ebook is called I Still Choose Death, Suicide Prevention Ebook. $47. It's for people who have gone through so much shit that literally nobody would believe you if you told them. It's my story in there and how I changed my mind to understand, like, just because you've been through a lot does not mean that you're not supposed to be here. It's the opposite. You're supposed to be here because you've been through a lot, so that you can help somebody else out of it, what they think, right? What they think they're the only person that's going through, right? That situation or those situations. Because my bad luck situations were happening like back to back. And it was so bad, like, I had my homeboy, my other best friend, and one of the girls that I knew at work, and they knew what was going on with me, and they were like, bro, if I was you, I would have been killed myself by now. That's how bad this shit was. Okay? That's how bad it was. And I said, boom. So I did the right thing by writing out my story. So I wrote it out. That one's $47, and it's downloadable straight to your phone, straight to your iPad, straight to your computer. The other one is the Family Guide to Suicide Prevention. Baby, this family guide, because I ran into a few people who unfortunately had family members that committed suicide, and it broke them. And I know one situation I had was at work with one of my coworkers, and then another one, somebody online that had hit me up. And one of those situations, I'm getting goosebumps. Oh my God. When I tell you this shit is so real, it's real. One of the situations, the girl was like how the person that committed suicide, they blamed her for the reason why they committed the suicide. So I said, you know what? I'm going to write a family guide, because people don't understand, like, the mindset somebody is in. Even if that person blames you for them committing suicide, like they went and wrote the letter right before, and they're like, you're the reason because you did this, this, and this. You hurt me because this, and this. You da-da-da-da-da. It does not always mean that you're the reason. When somebody's ready to commit suicide, or they actually do it, it's many things. It's piled up of a bunch of things that happen. And then for some reason, let's say you and that person had a fight, you probably were the icing on the cake, but it does not mean that you were the overall cause. I don't know if that makes sense, right? So, that was such a sad situation. I cried with that person too. Like, when I tell y'all I eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff, I do, okay? So that's a family guide. Within that family guide, I put, like, what to do if somebody has blamed you for them being suicidal and committing suicide after the fact, and you found the letter and you found out you were the ones to blame. I put a family guide of, like, protocols to follow when somebody is suicidal, a checklist. You give one list to the person that is suicidal, and you keep one list to yourself. That way each party has a guide to follow, so that nobody is unaware of what to do, if that makes sense, right? The other one, suicide in the Bible. Let me tell you why I wrote this one. So I'm giving y'all all the tea. Listen, I had a patient when I was still at bedside. I was still a bedside nurse at the time. Right now I'm a hospice nurse. Girl, I would never go back to bedside, because this is soft life nursing at this point, what I'm doing. But anyway, I had a patient. My patient was gay. Let me tell you something. I don't care what nobody say. I love gay people down bad, okay? If I had to choose between a regular person and a gay person, I would choose a gay person first. Why? Because they're hella honest, right? There's no, what you see with them is what you get. You don't have to worry about, I don't know, it's just my experience. Sue me, fry me, cuss me out. I'm just saying. So when people be like, oh, how could you be friends with a gay person? Baby, I would choose them first before I choose a regular person, because their mindset is just completely different, right? But anyway, so I had a patient. Patient was gay. And at that time, one of my friends had bought me a cross, right? And I lost the chain. I'm so mad I lost the damn chain. But she bought me a cross, one of my friends, and I was wearing the cross that day at work, right? So I had this gay patient, and he was there, and he was like, you're so pretty. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. And he was like, so you're my nurse? It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I was introducing myself to him. And he's like, okay, cool. I'm glad you're my nurse. Mind you, we just met. There was nothing like spectacular, right? We had just met. Sorry. My friend just texted me. I went to go see my friend in Orlando. I cried. Anyway, I do a lot of crying with people. I'm a very empathetic person. And sometimes it's a burden, but I realize that the way that I am with people is the reason why God gave me the calling that he did. But we'll go into that in another live. But anyway, so he's like, yeah. So I remember it was late in the day, and I'm going to bring him his meds. I'm ringing up the meds, like scanning the meds to give to him. So he was like, yeah, girl, I know. My poor baby. That's my best friend that happened to as well. So damn, lost my train of thought because I thought about her. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm a very empathetic person. Like, once I feel your pain, I'm stuck in it. And then I'm like sitting there trying to figure out like how to get you out of your pain, even though I lost my train of thought. My patient. Okay. So, woo! Sorry, that threw me for a loop. So anyway, it's late in the day, and he's like, yeah, I'm giving him his meds. He came in for a bowel obstruction, right? If you know bowel obstructions are nasty. They throw up, they poop, they just go through a lot, and it's very taxing mentally for them, right? So anyway, I'm giving him his medications, and he's on a full liquid diet. You know, when you're full liquid, you're not able to take anything but meds and liquids, right? So I'm giving him his meds and stuff, and he's like, can you pull the curtain, please? I said, absolutely. So I pull the curtain. He's like, I need to ask you a question, and the only reason I'm asking you this question is because you have a cross on your chest. And I said, okay, go ahead, ask. He was like, why would God allow me to be not only gay, but suicidal, and not show me a place where like he understands it? And I said, that's deep. I said, give me a little bit more. So he goes, okay, bet. He actually said bet, and he was a white guy. So I was laughing because I was like, oh, you said bet. He was like, bet. I said, let me explain. So I said, all right. Right. So as he's explaining, he's crying, and I'm like, oh my God, don't do it, because I'm a crier. If I see you cry, I'm going to cry. Right. But anyway, he goes, all right. He goes, I have a best friend, and he was like, speak of the devil, she's about to come upstairs right now. Right. And she's gorgeous. And when I saw her come upstairs, I said, bitch, you look good. Okay. Like, she looked like a model. And I'm kind of like half gay, so I was looking at her like, okay, you know? So anyway, sorry. So he's like, my best friend is gay. And he was like, I love her. Like, I'm not talking about like puppy love. I'm not talking about like lustful love, because he was like, I know the difference. But he was like, I love her to the point where this is the woman that I would marry. And he was like, we both talked about it. She's attracted to me too, and I'm attracted to her. And he was like, no bullshit, I would marry her. Like, I would marry her. And I said, wow. But he was like, here's the problem. when I see a man walk by that's actually also very attractive, my dick rises. And I said, oh. So he was like, what do I do when I want to have sex with my best friend and marry her, but my dick says something else when a man walks by and I want that? But mentally, my heart and my head is with her. Like, what do I do? And he was like, I get so frustrated because I don't want to be attracted to men, but my body says something else. And I said, wow. And then I thought of the Bible verse where Paul was talking about, in my members, when I want to do something else happens. And I said, I literally told him, I was like, you are the living Paul of this generation. Do you know how powerful you are? Like, I was like, maybe God wants you to go through this so that you can be the living example of Paul when he was talking about it in the Bible. And he was like, I understand you, but it hurts me. And not only does it hurt me, it makes me not want to be here because it's a constant battle. He was like, I don't want to be gay, but I'm gay because of what my body tells me. But he was like, as you can see, like, I'm a girly girl. Like, he was like, I get my eyebrows done. Like, I don't get nails on my fingers and nothing like that. But I do end up going to the salon and I make them cut my nails for me and put on a clear nail polish. He was like, I just believe in being a clean man. And I said, wow. So I said, all right. And then he was like, I look gay. Don't I look gay to you? And I said, he was like, you could be honest with me. And I said, oh, okay. Well, yeah, you do. But you don't have to claim what your body is telling you. What if you exercise what your mind and your heart is telling you instead of what your body is telling you? So he was like, that's good, but it still hurts. So he's crying. I'm hugging him. And then his best friend comes up. And I look at her. I was like, girl, you are fine. Like, she was fine. Like, me, I can never be a hater. It's not in my blood. It's not in my bloodstream. You look good. I'm going to tell you look good. You got a big old booty. I'm going to be like, ooh, booty is flopping. Like, I'm just that type of person. Like, jealousy has never been in me. If I say I'm jealous of somebody, it's because your butt looks really nice and I would like to touch it, but I know it's off limits. Like, it's just not in me, right? So anyway, I'm hugging him. The girl comes upstairs and she's like, he told you, didn't he? And I said, yeah, he told me. and then she was like, the sad part is, like, I really love him too. And I really want to marry him. And, you know, all these things. And I said, so then just do it and then work it out as you guys go. Like, you might be the reason that he gets set free. You don't know. But he was like, you still didn't answer my question. And I said, I don't have an answer. But I told him the truth. I said, I don't have an answer because I'm not God. But I also understand, like, wanting to be one way and, like, things just happening in another way. So I told him, like, you know, I was suicidal too. And I didn't want to be suicidal, right? But it is what it was. And a lot of us, like, when we're suicidal, we try to run from it. Or we try to act like it's not there. Or we try to act like we're not, right? But a part of the healing of being suicidal is admitting it. Like, you know how the Bible says, like, the truth will set you free? That's a part of the healing process. Like, yo, I am suicidal. Okay, now that we have admitted it, we can move forward with the healing. But the more you ignore it, the worse it gets, right? It's like a really bad wound that the more you ignore that wound, it starts to smell and it starts to peel. And now we got mucus in it. It's the same difference. Like, you cannot be suicidal and expect to heal and not admit that you're suicidal is what I'm saying. So anyway, with his story is the reason why I created the ebook, Suicide in the Bible. That's literally where I go in and I show you everywhere in the Bible where suicide is being talked about. This is the stuff that the church does not teach. It's not taught in church. But I put it in an ebook so that you guys can see it. Like, you guys can see that you're not alone. You guys can see the circumstances as to why. Because a lot of people are suicidal for different things. It can be betrayal. It can be regret. It can be guilt. It can be following the crowd. There's a story in the Bible where somebody was suicidal because they were following the crowd. They were the person that everybody was going to for advice. And the minute somebody did not take their advice, they became suicidal. And I was like, why doesn't anybody teach about this? Like, sometimes it's the simplest things. This is why it's so important to be kind to people, because you really don't know what they're going through, right? So that's where the ebook Suicide in the Bible is about. And then I also give you structured prayers for each circumstance in the Bible where each person was suicidal. Moses was suicidal. Did you know that? Elijah was suicidal. Jonah was suicidal. Girl, when I took a minute to just like, all right, let me sit my butt down and kind of like see who was suicidal about what, it's all in there. God did not hide suicide from us. It's there. It's just that we skip over it, or the church does not teach it, right? So the Bible also says, study to show yourself approved. I literally went through the Bible to find all of the stories where people were suicidal. And not only did I do that, but I added on prayers with each story. I show you exactly what circumstances led to people being suicidal. Okay. The next one is a quiz. It's only $3. The one for Suicide in the Bible, that's $20, $19.99. But the one for the suicidal quiz, that one's $3. It teaches you the difference between being actively suicidal and passively suicidal. What is active suicide? Active suicide means you have a plan. You're not fucking with nobody no more. You already packed up your shit. Your will and everything is in place. You told all your friends goodbye, or you made amends with everybody, which is what I did. Let me tell you, I was in the military and I was doing this. I was going to all my best friends. I was like, listen, you were